How are you gonna look? How are you gonna look me in the face and tell me that this is not a real photo of the Mothman? The fuck is that, bro? You mean to tell me that people so believe in the Wendigos that they were like, I feel like I want to eat the people around me. And I want some good footage of the Mothman, bro. It lands on your vehicle. Why hasn't it landed on any vehicles ever since? Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. What the hell? Today, we're going to be... So we talked about it a little bit at the end of last No Heckin Way Wednesday. And you guys seem to be very, very interested in cryptids. Yeah, so cryptids, things like Chupacabra, Yeti, Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, things of that nature that have been spotted, discussed, some debunked, but most of which is just unknown. Today, we're going to be jumping into two of them that have always intrigued me. Mothman being one of them, okay? The Mothman, the only thing I knew of the Mothman was from the movie, the old movie, The Mothman Prophecies. Whenever that came out, I very, very vaguely remember watching that growing up. And then Wendigos were going to be the other one that we talk about today. And my only knowledge of Wendigos has been from Until Dawn. Like literally that's it. And I was doing a little bit of research prior, and there's a lot of lore that goes into Wendigos. Mothman, not so much. Let's jump into this. So this article is pretty lengthy. We're gonna stop at a certain point because it kind of gets funny. The flying Mothman mortified countless Point Pleasant residents, Point Pleasant, West Virginia, in the late 1960s. And when a bridge collapsed, the creature was blamed for the deaths of 46 people. Interesting though that was like widely accepted at the time that this Mothman creature was the reason a bridge collapsed. Just 3 days after the gravediggers' initial report in a nearby Point Pleasant, West Virginia, two couples noticed a white-winged creature about 6 or 7 feet tall standing in front of the car they were all sitting in. Eyewitnesses Roger Scarberry and Steve Mallett told the local paper, the Point Pleasant Register, that the beast had bright red eyes about 6 inches apart, a wingspan of 10 feet, and the apparent urge to avoid the bright headlights of the car. Knowing how absurd this must have sounded to a local paper in a small Appalachian community in the 1960s, Scarberry insisted that the apparition couldn't have been a figment of his imagination. He assured the paper, if I had seen it while by myself, I wouldn't have said anything, but there were 4 of us who saw it. These are so discussed and so believed by so many. The lore runs so deep that they erected a monument of the Mothman. This is apparently what it looks like. This is an actual phenomenon when somebody like reports something or sees something and they explain it or tell someone else, and then that person starts to experience the same phenomenon. Dude, in a lot of these instances, I truly believe that they saw something, right? Like going through and like putting together these stories of these creatures and stuff would be insanely difficult. But then they go and tell the newspaper, and now people read of that, and now any little bump in the night is now the Mothman. Physical characteristics, size and shape, between 6 and 10 feet tall, with a 10-foot wingspan. Species, it's been compared to a big owl, a pterosaur, a bat. Red eyes, green eyes, yellow eyes, orange eyes have all been reported. Probably all the other colors too. Okay, they're poking. NPR, stop. I'm trying to go into this. Is not a skeptic. I'm a believer right now. All right, so reports in Chicago and West Virginia. All right, this is gonna be. This one's the untold truth of the Mothman, and if there's one thing we're looking for on No Heckin Way Wednesdays, it's the truth.
The man describes the otherworldly entity as a brown human being that flew over
That's
their
real
heads.
footage.
While that's generally regarded as the first official Mothman encounter,
I want some good footage. I want some good footage of the Mothman, bro. It lands on your vehicle. Why hasn't it landed on any vehicles ever since, bro? Why hasn't it chasing you ever since, bro?
Silver Bridge collapse.
I'm interested in this.
The appearances of Mothman in November 1966 were creepy, but they paled in comparison to what happened on December 15th, 1967. The Silver Bridge collapsed into the Ohio River. In total, 46 lives were lost.
It's
and the
horrifying.
tragedy sparked all sorts of bizarre theories about what happened. However, the most popular involves the Mothman. Cryptozoologists and paranormal researchers believe the winged beast was either responsible for the collapse or that it was trying to warn of the impending disaster. And those who believe in the Mothman connection often point to the terrifying dreams of people drowning and Christmas presents in the river as proof of the creature's involvement.
Okay. That literally opposite ends of the spectrum. Either it was the cause of the bridge collapse and murdered all these people, or it was trying to save all their lives. And now it can implant dreams into people. I've been having some crazy dreams, bro. If I start seeing 7-foot tall winged creatures flying around that night, hey.
On November 20th, 2016, an anonymous man who'd recently moved to Point Pleasant took photos of a shadowy, man-sized creature flying through the West Virginia sky. So, did the Mothman migrate back to his old hometown? Is something bad in store for the residents of Point Pleasant, or is it all a good old-fashioned hoax?
Like, we're in the era right now where it's like, why is there no proof? There should be proof. We have enough technology now to be able to capture these sightings or whatever on film.
When they crested a hill, they came face to face with a 7-foot tall creature with large red eyes and a 10-foot wingspan.
Bro, honestly, as far as Point Pleasant, like, tourism is concerned, creating a creature like the Mothman is genius. It's big brain. If you didn't have anything driving people to your city and you needed some money, you know, it wasn't a tourist destination, creating some sort of mythical creature is big brain, okay?
Turning onto a farm
I'd
road,
cry,
the
dude.
creature
I would-
once again
dude.
got out ahead of them
Just-
and blocked their path.
I'd fucking
lying down
cry.
on the road as though hoping one of them would step out of the car to investigate.
Hell
Fearing the
no.
creature was laying a trap for them, the couples refused to step out of their car and instead backed up onto the highway.
Who was
and finally made
approaching
their way to
that
town.
thing?
Later that night, another bridge collapse in 2007 would be linked to the Mothman. Reports of Mothman sightings flooded in shortly before the collapse of the I-35W
what?
Mississippi River Bridge in Minnesota. In an eerily similar manner to the Silver Bridge collapse, the I-35W Mississippi River Bridge buckled during the evening during rush hour on August 1st, 2007, killing 13 people and injuring 145. After the collapse, eyewitnesses came forward to state that they had seen a large flying humanoid in the area for months prior to the collapse, but as usual, had remained silent for fear of being ridiculed.
What are the odds? What are the odds that those people like actually knew about the Mothman? Like it was in 2007.
But the Mothman is hardly just an American phenomenon. Sightings of what was dubbed the Freiburg Shrieker occurred across the Atlantic in Germany. On September 10, 1978, a group of miners prepared for a day's work in a coal mine near Freiburg, Germany. Approaching the mouth of the mine, they were startled to discover what they thought was a tall man in a dark trench coat blocking access. Approaching the figure to demand he move out of the way, the men were surprised to discover that the figure was not a man at all, but rather an entity with large bat-like wings pinned to its sides. Without warning, the figure began to let loose a series of shrieks that, according to the miners, sounded like 50 men screaming at once, combined with the sound of a train's emergency brakes. Terrified, the miners fled, but stayed near the area of the mine. An hour later, the mine was rocked by an explosion that caused its collapse, and authorities would later state that had the men been at their posts during the explosion, they would all have died. While the Freiburg Shrieker was credited with saving their lives, months later, nearly a third of the miners would go on to develop serious mental disorders, a fate shared by Mothman witnesses around the world. The earthquake and resulting tsunami off the coast of Japan in 2011 is best remembered for the subsequent Fukushima nuclear plant disaster, but here too, Mothman seemed to play a role in portending its doom. Just days after the tsunami, reports began to spread across the internet from Japanese and foreign nationals living on the island nation of sightings of a Mothman-like creature near or around
I didn't know
the
there were
area of
so
the
many
Fukushima
of them.
plant. One report claims that while out checking on some scientific instruments studying the effects of the nuclear power plant's waste heat on the nearby environment, a man and his friend were startled by loud shrieking sound. Just weeks later, disaster would strike the Fukushima plant, irradiating large portions of the countryside and forcing hundreds of thousands to flee the area permanently. Our ancestors believe.
So there's like one theme, and that he's the Mothman has been saving lives, bro. At least attempting to. You start seeing the Mothman, hey, heed its warning. What is the Mothman really? Dr. Robert L. Smith, an associate professor of wildlife biology at West Virginia University, dismissed the notion that a flying monster was stalking out the town. Instead, he attributed the sightings to a sandhill crane, which stands almost as tall as the average man and has bright red flesh around its eyes. Imagine, I don't know what's scarier, dog. A Mothman demon figure that science cannot explain, or a fucking crane the size of a grown man. I don't know what's scarier, bro. If this comes swooping in front of my vehicle, I'm treating it the same way they treated Mothman, bro. I'm out that bitch. You're telling me a bird? Have you ever seen a bald eagle? Like up close? Have you ever seen one like real close to you? Them fuckers is huge. They're massive, bro. And like I've seen big birds flying through the sky, and it really doesn't do it justice until you get real fucking close to one. Some people hypothesize that this crane was deformed. It has been suggested that these bunkers have leaked toxic materials into the neighboring wildlife preserve, possibly affecting nearby animals, which is also insanely sad. Okay. Best evidence of Mothman to date.
After later reviewing the photos and consulting with experts, the man now believes to have caught what could be known as some of the greatest photographic evidence of the Mothman to date.
Hey, yo.
Our next case once
Wait,
again
go back.
brings
Why are
back
we
the point of
glazing
the
over
finding.
this?
Consulting with experts, the man now believes to have caught what could.
Hey, yo. This photo is really zoomed in, but those, I don't know, bro. That looks like a Mothman if I've ever seen it. If somebody were to like, the photo ain't real, how do you fucking know? How do you fucking know the photo isn't real? Look at this. Look at this. How are you gonna look me in the face and tell me that this is not a real photo of the Mothman? It's a crazy owl. Even if it is a crazy owl, doesn't mean the photos are faked. Just saying, bro. This could be, it's a real photo. Wow, bro. This is compelling stuff.
Known as some of the greatest photographic evidence of the Mothman to date. Although many people claim to have seen the Mothman,
Is this a real photo?
only one photo was taken that clearly shows some sort of being on top of the bridge. A man and his friend were sitting in his backyard. Suddenly, the man looked up to the tallest tree in the backyard and saw a creature with glowing red eyes staring down at him. The man then reached down into his pocket to get his camera and fortunately snapped some pictures of the creature. In the photos, you can clearly see what appears to be a large winged humanoid. Could this be the
Hey,
alleged
yo,
Mothman,
what the?
or just a big owl looking for some food?
Ain't no owl I ever heard of. You see this
Alleged
mother?
Mothman,
Look at this
or
thing,
just
bro.
A big owl looking for some food. You tell me.
Not Photoshop, by the way. It's not.
Disasters.
Hey, at least we got some actual like photo evidence of Mothman in that video. Oh, this guy reminded me of the Tiger King. Was it Joe? Fucking Carol Baskins. And it's the only reason I pulled this video up, because he got 2.6 million subscribers, dog.
Hey guys, Bill here. You know, there's a lot of different types of animals in this world. We have the friendly types, and then there's the not so friendly types. But then there's the ones we don't know really what they are. Like this one they call the Mothman. This is the place right here where the kids said they were standing. They said the creature took off in this.
Bill is okay. Bill is on location with a fucking drone. Bill's channel might be my new favorite fucking YouTube channel.
Direction, where there was a large.
When am I gonna get the budget to go on location for some of these stories?
Yeah, I believe that there was something going
fuck
on
is
up
this
in
guy?
the TNT area, that people were actually seeing something.
Were
The crane.
actual birds.
The crane.
You see, the area around Point Pleasant
Big
is
fucking
filled
crane.
with all sorts of large winged birds, like sandhill cranes, barred owls, even turkey vultures. Came from
Hey, bro, I don't know. They were talking about these sandhill cranes being the size of like an adult male, but they only get up to like 5 feet tall is like the largest reported. You're not gonna mistake this for a humanoid creature, even like completely erect. Maybe flying through the sky potentially. Maybe I could see that. It is pretty large. Like if you caught one of these fuckers in the sky at night, like this, bro. Well, how do you get a Mothman out of that?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it up to you.
Can't disprove it, and it's our turn, chat. What do you
Mothman
think?
is real, or maybe it's just a figment of people's paranoid imaginations.
Hey, Bill's going hard. All right. Let's stay on track. We're gonna enter into Wendigo territory. Oh, there's a lot of lore here involving Wendigos. Good old Wikipedia. The Wendusi is a mythological creature or evil spirit which originates from the folklore of First Nations based in and around East Coast forests of Canada, the Great Plains region of the United States, and the Great Lakes region of the United States and Canada, grouped in modern ethnology as speakers of the Algonquian family languages. The Wendigo is often said to be a malevolent spirit, sometimes depicted as a creature with human-like characteristics which possesses human beings. In modern psychiatry, the Wendigo lends its name to a form of psychosis known as Wendigo psychosis, which is characterized by symptoms such as an intense craving for human flesh and an intense fear of becoming a cannibal. Wendigo psychosis is described as a culture-bound syndrome. This does have a lot to do with murder and cannibalism, and there might be some graphic imagery here, chat, so if that's not your thing, completely understand, just know.
Stories about the Wendigo have been told for centuries, echoing fears of humanity's darkest potential. Like all of the beasts of folklore, the Wendigo tales strike up visceral images of things we all fear. According to legend, the Wendigo could be one of two things. The first possibility is that it's a physical being, a hideous monster that stalks the northern woods, desperate to sate its unfathomable hunger. Different stories described it differently. Sometimes it had the head of a stag, and other times it was closer to a monstrous human, emaciated from constantly starving. It was sometimes said to grow in proportion to the size of the meal it had just consumed, making it impossible for the beast to ever eat its fill. In other stories, a Wendigo is a malevolent spirit that takes control of men's bodies, cursing them with an incurable need to consume human flesh. Wendigo psychosis is a fascinating condition with a storied history. It's a term for what happens to people who, for one reason or another, turn to eating other people. Shock factor.
Okay, this is probably one of the most insane parts because, like, obviously, the story of the mythos of the Wendigo has been around much longer than Wendigo psychosis has.
According to the Edmonton Journal, a man known as Swift Runner was generally well liked for a while.
There's
he was
another
a member of the
video
Cree
that talks
tribe,
about this man.
and he had worked as a guide for the local mounted police. But toward the end of 1878, he took his family into the woods and walked into macabre history. The next time he was seen in public was in the spring of 1879. He claimed that his entire family, including his wife and 6 children, had died of starvation during the harsh winter months. The police at Fort Saskatchewan, however, couldn't help but notice that the man himself didn't look like he had missed a meal. They investigated his campsite and discovered grisly remains. Bones picked clean of meat, some with the marrow hollowed out. A skull with a shoe jammed inside.
What the
When confronted
fuck?
about the crime, Swift Runner confessed to having killed and eaten his family. Swift Runner's story went on to become the go-to example of Wendigo psychosis. Known to the Europeans in the area as Jack Fiddler, he was a shaman, a holy healer with a particularly sought-after skill set. Jack could fight Wendigos. Jack claimed to have stopped as many as 14 Wendigos in his life.
What?
His method? Euthanization. At the turn of the century,
Bro,
tribal
what?
traditions were beginning to go by the wayside.
You mean you mean to tell me that people so believed in the Wendigos that they were like, I feel like I want to eat the people around me, and he was like, all right, buddy, Go ahead and strap yourself in here. We're going to set your ass on fire. That's wild to me. Or so that the people believed in it so deeply that it's almost like cult shit. They believed in it so deeply that they would go and have themselves executed so that they wouldn't harm those around them.
Jack and his brother were arrested for murder. Before he could be executed, the shaman escaped from jail and killed himself.
This one. Okay, this one made me laugh. All right, this is real Wendigo caught on camera. This is literally like our day, and this is what I was talking about earlier about how all these creatures and stuff, how we got no footage of them anywhere. This is literally recorded on an Instagram Live, Facebook Live, something like that. Okay, watch.
That's the exact motherfucking spot now. That's my backyard. I'm zooming in a little piece. This is the exact spot that I just.
The fuck is that, bro? Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Dude, it's so faint. That's an ostrich in my man's backyard? In my man's backyard? Grow up. That'd be my exact reaction. That's crazy, bro. Shit. Could you imagine? He like actually just trained ostriches, and it really was. But I saw that. I don't know what the fuck that is, but you want to call it a Wendigo, bro? Who am I to say it's not? This one, I think, actually shows footage of supposed Wendigos. Could be pretty disturbing imagery if you guys are sensitive to that type of stuff.
People have always had an interest in the mysterious and the unknown.
So this is one of the most famous trail cam footage. So basically, what trail cam footage is, I don't know if they're saying that this is an actual Wendigo, but people will hunters specifically will set up like cameras in the woods for when they go hunting so they can track and spot the animals and shit. And so they set up these cameras that just record constantly. Okay. This one I've seen dozens of times. This is like one of the most famous trail cam footage of like, what the fuck is this unexplainable thing that has ever been recorded. I haven't watched any of these yet.
Away from the nearest town,
I saw the start of this footage.
This was different. One night he decided to venture out and investigate the source of the noise with his camera.
What the heck is that?
Oh fuck no! What?
When he posted this,
what the heck is that? He like turned and looked at us. What was he doing? Was he eating something? Chat, stop. It's a humanoid creature, clearly. I'm not confident in saying that's a human. Bro, imagine Bro. So my dad, talked about him earlier. My dad has lived on property before that has like his backyard is forest. Imagine you hear some shit out there and your wife, your kids are like, Dad, please, can you go see what it is? I'm scared. And you fucking walk in that bitch, and this motherfucker's awesome. Hey, bro, I'm crying, bro. I'm pissing, I'm shitting, I'm farting. I'm crying, dog. Every man for themselves at that point. Hey, doors are locked. Ain't nothing more I can do for you.
Alien?
Bro, I don't know, dog.
Something else.
Holy shit.
Number 4.
If any of these had like followed up with a story of like, okay, I hate to say it, but like murder or cannibalism or something like that would be like fucking weird, bro.
Okay, probably Shiloh. Yeah, I gotta take pictures.
After the creature moves to the right, you can hear one of the campers say that he thought he heard a dog.
Okay, that looks like a
Though
person.
What the cameraman caught
but
was certainly not that. Some people say that this is yet more footage of a Wendigo.
That looks like a person, but I will say that if it was staged by them, they acted really. Most like footage like this is very interesting to me when the people are like, they're very clearly like recording something else and happened. Like they didn't even acknowledge it, right? I would think it was more fake if they were like, oh my God, did you see that? What is that? This is like something they were watching after they were just bullshitting around, because I've done this with my cousins, my brother. We just have a video camera and we're just recording dumb shit. if we went back afterwards and then saw that, that would be horrifying.
They go to investigate, and what they caught on camera is quick, but nonetheless pretty chilling.
Oh fuck no, baby! Did you see that little fucker?
As you can see, when he turns the corner, something seems to be peeking around.
Ah, it looks
before
fake.
Dashing away.
It looks fake.
They give chase, and as they turn to the left, whatever it was is gone. Number 2.
That looked fake.
Juvenile Wendigo.
What the hell? Oh
You
fuck!
see that he is definitely startled, and when he turns around to see what almost hit him, it is gone. Some people say that this could just be an escape.
Okay, when you slow it down, it looks fake. It's almost too good a quality. It's almost too good a quality of the creature in comparison with like him moving.
Some people
Like that it looks like CGI to me. And the fact it's in his, I guess it's not in his path.
say.
Oh, that is actually, yeah, no, that's fake as fuck. But that would have, oh my God. Like videos like this, it is back to what I was saying. Like, this is very clearly someone just recording their bike. People do this all the time, right? Bikers do it.
Zooming in, you can see a skinny gray creature stalking through the woods that certainly fits the description of a Wendigo. Also, the way it walks just sends chills down the spine.
It looked like a Pokemon. It looks Toxicroak? It looks like a Toxicroak, dude.
And there.
Oh, he zooms in here. Oh, he's still zooming in. Yeah, that seems fake as well. What's weird to me about, not weird, but very interesting, is how we perceive cannibalism, right? Fucking horrifying, right? The thought of like eating another human being. But one, there are many like species of animals and stuff that practice, it's just the circle of life, right? They be eating their babies, they fucking eat each other for sustenance. And then there are some people who believe in cannibalism, who just do it, practice it. And it changes throughout the world. There are some tribes that would look at us and be like, you do what to your dead? You bury your dead? How disrespectful to put them in the ground with worms and cover them in dirt. We eat our dead so that they become part of us. They become a piece of us. And it's like, thinking of it like that was like, oh, they're honoring their dead by consuming them. Still fucking foul to me, but it's just some food for thought. Maybe not the best thing to say after talking about eating. The Wendigo and Wendigo psychosis in general are some of the most interesting things we've covered. The fact that it was something so compelling and so like they had so much evidence about it that they created an actual like medical disease for it. Wendigo psychosis is horrifying. To think that there were so many people that were dealing with this, and then it like really goes to who you ask, whether or not it was because of the Wendigos or it was just a mental break. That is going to be it for this week's No Heckin Way Wednesday. We'll be back next Wednesday with some more possibly cryptids. Maybe I'll discover something else that we want to deep dive. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you soon.